Today on the Color Outside the Box podcast, we wrap up this month's shows with a recap of all of our conversations with Assistant Principal Keirston Gaines. Stay tuned as we discuss what it takes to achieve a dream and some of the major issues kids are facing and how we as parents may help. Don't forget to like us and tell us what you think on Spreaker, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram.
Is your cell phone bill out of control? Then this is your wake-up call. The new TracFone Wireless gives you unlimited talk and text starting at $20 a month, no contract, plus unlimited carryover data with active service. Yep, the new TracFone Wireless. Now you're in control. See terms and conditions at TracFone.com.
Today on Season 2 of the Color Outside the Box podcast.
In the midst of me going through personal trials, God stepped in and He showed out. And favor was shown on my behalf. During that time, He opened a door for me to be able to enter into the field of administration during that particular time in my life.
Color Outside the Box is a podcast series that focuses on creating a better you. Whether it's advice about family, relationships, raising children in this technological world, marriage, or careers, we seek to find the answers to help you live your best life. So start your Monday morning off right with me, your hostess with the mostest, Princess Miller, on Color Outside the Box right here on iTunes and everywhere podcasts can be heard. Well, good Monday morning, and thank you for tuning in to the Color Outside the Box podcast. I am your hostess, Princess Miller, and here in the studio with me is another special guest, Miss Keirston Gaines. Good morning, Miss Keirston.
Good morning, Princess. How are you doing?
Doing good. How about you?
I'm doing good.
And I am so excited about these shows that we're going to talk about. For those of you that don't know, Miss Keirston Gaines is an assistant principal at a local high school here in Mobile. And we're going to talk about her journey to reaching her goal. Her goal was to be an assistant principal. I've been knowing Keirston for a number of years, ever since we were in high school. And I'll never forget the first time that I met her. We had joined the same church, and my pastor called us up front to minister to us, and I didn't have a Bible. And Keirston had this green Gideon Bible. And she said, "You don't have a Bible? Here you go." And, just to see our walk in the Lord and how God has used this young woman so mightily. Keirston is quiet, but she is a force to be reckoned with. And we're going to talk about what it takes to reach a goal. Mm-hmm. And sometimes when you have a goal, there are obstacles that may arise that try to get you off of, the path that you're trying to get to. And Keirston went to LaFleur High School here in Mobile. Boo, LaFleur. I went to Murphy. No. Yay, Murphy.
Orange and green.
Yellow and gold. Yellow and blue. But, from that moment of graduating, take us from that point to where you are now. You're graduating from high school and you're getting ready to go off to college. Did you know what you wanted to be when you first left?
Actually, no.
Okay.
I had several different things that I had in my head that I wanted to accomplish. Initially, I wanted to become a lawyer, but at the same time, I also wanted to be a cosmetologist because my brother, he's a barber. And I had this vision of us being in the shop together, running together as family. Mm-hmm. But my junior summer year at LaFleur High School, I ended up going to a summer program at Tuskegee University. And when I went to that program that summer, it inspired me to want to continue my education at Tuskegee once I graduated from LaFleur. Now, I always knew that I was going to college. I always knew that I needed, me personally, everybody's different. I needed to get away from Mobile. Mm-hmm. So going off to school was perfect for me. It helped me grow in some areas that I needed growth in. So once I went to Tuskegee, I ended up majoring in social work. And once I graduated from Tuskegee, I worked in social work for 3 years. I worked at Penelope House, which is Center for Domestic Violence. I worked at DHR and Child Protective Services, and I also worked at the health department. In those 3 years, I loved it. I worked with at-risk teens, but it can be challenging. Mm-hmm. Every day I was going into work, and there were times I would remove my kids from the home, and that can be challenging dealing with that every day. Mm-hmm. Every day was a different day. I would come in thinking I was going to try to reunite the family. And at DHR, you provide different services because the department that I was in, Child Protective Services, you really was trying to preserve the family. So whatever we need to do to preserve that family, provide counseling, different resources to that family, that's what we did. However, there were there were times where we just had to remove those children from the household. And so that became challenging. So I wanted to change careers, and that's what I did. So I went back to school and I got my master's in education. And once I finished, I started teaching at LaFleur High School, the same school that I graduated from. And I taught at LaFleur actually for about 13 or 14 years.
Now, I can remember, you know, when we used to have a group, me, you, and some other ladies called the Sister Circle. And I was thinking back this morning about the Sister Circle and all the prayers that we prayed. And one of our prayers for you was not only that you find the husband that God has for you, but also that you get to the point where you wanted to be, which was to be an assistant principal and administrator. And, and I thought back to, one of our sisters had a desire to make more money, but to advance in her career, which she is. And now she's over that facility.
She is.
Another one of our sisters in that prayer group, her prayer was to advance in her career, but there really wasn't any room for growth where she was, and God opened a door, and now she's, overseeing 7 different offices in 7 different cities. My prayer was that God would bless me in the field that I was in, but then I got to the point where, I wanted to be on my own, and the Lord moved in that area, and just all the prayers that we prayed, and to see where we are now is just amazing.
Right.
So you got this word that you were going to be an administrator, and you're teaching for 13 years. But that word came years before the opportunity came.
Right.
Talk to us about when those obstacles arise. You know how it is when you have something in mind and you're like, man, one day I'm gonna do this. And then you have this little, voice in your head. Oh, you ain't gonna be able to do that. They ain't gonna never hire you. Talk to us how you overcame, those types of things.
Well, actually, I did not go back to school to get my certification in administration till maybe it was years after those words had gone forth. I was actually going back to school to do something else. But the thing is, I did not want to waste any more time, nor did I want to waste any money as far as paying for college.
Yeah.
So I did start at South Alabama for about a semester, and I stopped because I'm like, okay, God, what do you want me to do? I want to be in your will. I don't want to just be going to school without any type of direction. I want to make sure it's what I want to do. So I did. I prayed. I asked God for direction and revelation. And prophecies, as you know, words were going forth because I actually was going to apply for the administration school. But like I said, I didn't want to waste time. I wanted to make sure I was in God's will. So I was getting word after word, confirmation that it's time to go ahead and move forth. So at that time, I did go ahead and get enrolled, and it was not a problem getting in because they were only accepting a few amount of people for different cohorts because they had revamped the leadership school at South Alabama. So I was in when they started doing cohorts. They would pay for you to be out the class for a semester while you do a whole semester of internship in administration.
Awesome.
So God opened that door where I did not have to be without my pay. So I went on and I finished school, and after I finished school, I still waited before I actually applied. The reason why I waited for a while before I started applying because at that particular time, I had a lot of obstacles. And at that particular time, my mom, she was sick.
And your mom, she was a great woman. Boy, I remember one of the last conversations I had with her, she actually chewed me out.
What did she say?
She told me, so we were at a conference, and she had called, but my phone died, and my phone was dead in the room. I had left, and I was in somebody else's room, and it was hours later, and I still forgot to charge my phone. That morning, I got up, I was charging as I was headed to church from the conference, and when I got that message, I said, "Oh Lord, let me call Miss Renee." Sister Pfeiffer, as we know her. And she said, "You didn't answer your phone. What kind of business lady are you? You're supposed to always answer your phone." I was like, "I'm sorry, my phone died. I was in somebody else's room." And she was like, "You supposed to be taking my picture." Now, number one, I didn't know I was supposed to be taking her picture. But in her mind, I was her personal photographer. And she said, I'm about to fire you and hire your son because you ain't doing right. You supposed to answer the phone when I call.
She was very comical, outgoing.
She was serious. I mean, she was hot with me. And that's the first time she had ever got mad with me. I was like, wow. I don't ever want to be on her bad side no more. But she was a beautiful soul. She really was. She was very outgoing. She loved people. Mm-hmm. And she would do whatever she could to help you. And she was the first church photographer, too.
She was. Family, too. Mm-hmm. But my journey into administration, once I finished with my certification at South Alabama, I did not apply for a while because of I had some personal challenges within my life, and one of those challenges was my mama. She was dealing with a sickness, so and she dealt with it for like 4 years. So during that time, I felt like I shouldn't apply because I didn't want what my mom was going through to affect my abilities because I was one of her caregivers. So I was getting called, to and from the hospital. I was taking care of her, and basically I pretty much watched her deteriorate in front of my eyes. So, but during the latter part of her sickness, I started to apply. It might have been around about 2014, the beginning of 2014. I applied, but I did not get accepted during that time. 2015, she passed away. And also during 2015, I went through a divorce. And when I went through a divorce, God is so amazing. And the reason why I say God is so amazing because he is always so mindful of you. And he's never forgetful of you. And I just thank God for him. I thank God for his favor. I thank God for his grace. Because during that time, I was experiencing the death of my mom, and I went through a divorce. And I pretty much when I was going to work, no one never knew it because I'm the type of person who I keep everything in. I go about my day.
Yes, you do.
I go about my day.
And keep a beautiful smile on your face.
And you would never know what I'm going through but God. So during that time, I was still teaching. I had a very good relationship with my administrative team at LaFleur High School during that time. So during that following year, I'm thinking it was like second semester of 2016, I got a call.
Keirston, let's pause right here and take a commercial break. We're going to be right back. I want to hear the rest of this. But continue to stay locked into the Color Outside the Box podcast with your hostess, Princess Miller, and special guest, Miss Keirston Gaines.
What's up, everybody? Trey here to tell you about one of the best gym experiences in Mobile, Embrace Fitness Training Center. Embrace Fitness is more than just a gym. We offer personal training, speed and agility training, golf simulator, golf fitness, boot camp classes, child care, and even powerlifting. We're open Monday through Friday, 5 a.m. to 10 p.m., and Saturday, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. We love families, and kids are welcome. At Embrace Fitness, we believe that a family that works out together will stay together and live healthier and happier lives. So embrace the new you. We're located on Airport Boulevard near Cody Road. Try Embrace Fitness Training Center today. Your first visit is on me.
Princess Creative Productions can provide affordable and professional video services for small to mid-sized businesses. Our in-studio virtual set shoots start as low as $200. Let our expert get to work on your next video project. Call 251-421-4490 to book your next shoot.
And we're back on the Color Outside the Box podcast, and we're continuing talking about what does it take to reach a goal. And we're sitting here with Miss Keirston Gaines, who was explaining to us the road that God allowed her to travel in order to get to where she is.
As I was stating during the second semester of 2016, in the midst of me going through personal trials, God stepped in and he showed out, and favor was shown on my behalf. During that time, he opened a door for me to be able to enter into the field of administration during that particular time in my life. And I just thank God for it. And I do believe that during that time, because of the situation that I was going through, he wanted to let me know that he was always so mindful of Keirston, that he did not forget about me. So even though that was a goal of mine, I kind of put it on the back burner because of distractions. You know, he came forth and showed himself strong. And I also think that a lot of times that is what God, he does that. Sometimes we think God has forgotten about us or have forgotten about us, and it's not the case. I do believe that purpose is important. You know, purpose, the reason for our existence, the reason why we're here on earth. And sometimes distractions, they come to